Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about the novel Southern Family written by Gail Godwin. In the next slide, we are going to see an overall view of the novel. The central action of this ambitious novel is an act of sudden and mysterious violence. This attempt to tell the story of the specific family and their reaction to tragedy. This novel is an exploration of the event from every major character's point of view and resolve to deal with which cannot be neatly wrapped up. This is certainly not feminist in the political sense and reveals neither anger nor mystification about female roles in the society. It is feminist. Characters are explored largely through their gender roles. Moving on to the next slide, that is characters in the chapter 4, Magnolia Leaves. Coming to the next slide, now the story begins. Ralph, Jason and Miss Alicia Gallant all together traveling in a car. Jason was fighting with his grandfather for sitting in front with him and asking Miss Alicia Gallant to sit back in that small seat. Finally, Miss Alicia suggested an idea that three of them can sit in the front seat. Jason, who was a 3-year-old child, agreed with her. They started off for the florist, who had phoned Ralph's house first about the casket spray. Ralph stood helpless as his son Theo was no more. He wished that his son would return home. Ralph heavy-heartedly arranging the funeral of his son. There were going to be 3 priests in the funeral: Father Zachary, Father Tim, and Father Via. They have planned to organize the funeral in St. Dunstan. Ralph has sketched a favorite hymn of Theo, but Father Tim had cautioned him it might break people up too much, so Father Tim has guided Ralph to choose a less emotional hymn. Ralph have finally located Snow, wife of Theo, by making series of phone calls conveyed that he had a bad news for her. Snow accused, "Is Jason all right?" Ralph replied that he is all right, but Theo was not, and he told that Theo was killed yesterday afternoon. Ralph explained to her that Theo was killed in the car and his funeral is tomorrow at 11 in St. Dunstan. There was an argument between Ralph and Snow for conveying the news too late, and Ralph explained her that it was very tough to locate where she was, but Snow snapped right back that Theo knew where she lived and her phone number. Snow conveyed to Ralph that she and Theo had talked on Saturday. Then, after all the arguments, Snow said that she was in Georgia and it is very tough to attend a funeral. On the other hand, Miss Alicia often told stories on herself and her family. Ralph enjoyed listening to them and he suspected that these stories was told as much for his diversion of the child. And then the florist met them looking distraught. They said that the whole town seems to be out of magnolia leaves. They explained that it makes a very masculine effect with colored leaves and yellow spider mums mixed in, but there was no such thing at that time. Miss Alicia said that's not a problem, and her young cousin has a great big magnolia tree in her front yard in St. Dunstan's forest. The florist asked them to fill the trunk of the car with the magnolia leaves. Miss Alicia said that the Sally's gate key is with the security police headquarters and they need to collect it with them. Ralph, along with Jason, entered the police headquarters and signed the register to get the gate key. Ralph unlocked Miss Alicia's cousin brought the iron gate. Alicia said to Jason that it is her cousin Sally's house and they were going to cut some of those pretty green leaves from grand old magnolia leaves. Alicia and Ralph began to clip the old tree. pilling the clumps of the glossy green leaves at their feet, while the child sat with the old lady's purse between his legs and playing the things which is inside the purse. The florist got excited when he saw the leaves as it was very beautiful. Finally, it was the funeral. Viewing the body of loved ones was not new to Ralph. He had done it all his life. He was well prepared by his heart by how to react on seeing the loved one's body. Then the florist have made an impressive backdrop. On seeing Theo, Ralph felt that he was meeting his son for the first time and thinking about his beautiful hands and feet. Ralph bowed his head above his son's face. He wished he could touch the feet one last time. Finally, Snow arrived at the funeral saying that whether you all like or not, I am still Theo's wife. Ralph remained frozen and without speech on seeing the dear one's arrival on a short note. Thank you.